Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's What's for Dinner video, I'll be sharing with you what meals we had this past week. Our dinners were easy to make, budget friendly, and delicious. So if you're looking for some weeknight meal ideas for your family, just keep watching. Before I get into our dinners, just a quick disclaimer. We were pretty much off meal plan every night this week for the most part. Like so many of you, I'm sure we have just been really busy and we had different activities and things going on. And so, yeah, we were off meal plan, but still, hopefully you will get some weeknight meal inspiration from this. So first up, we ordered takeout from just a local mom and pop place. We've never eaten there before, but to be honest, since we had this, we ordered lunch from there. Again, this was delicious. It was so good. I ordered their club sandwich and then I ordered a side salad, which their side salad was enough for two. So I split it and had some for lunch the next day. And then Gary got their cheeseburger and loaded fries. It came with a Cajun ranch. And like I said, everything was so good. For dinner the next night, it was cold and I just wanted something really comforting and carby, cheesy casserole goodness. So I made this cheesy chicken, broccoli, and rice casserole. I've shared this once before on my channel. It's been a few months. I saw this on Instagram. Her name is The Cookin' Mama. I'll link it down in the description box below for you. So first up, you'll need a package of this Knorr cheddar broccoli. Really, you could use any of these rice kits. This is just what her recipe calls for. All you do is cook it according to the package instructions. And then her recipe doesn't call for this, but I had some fresh broccoli on hand. I wanted to use it up, so I chopped it into little pieces, added that. Next, we're going to add in some shredded cheese, and then I added in some garlic powder. You can add in whatever seasonings you'd like. I'm going to add in some pepper and then just a little bit of salt, not too much because the rice and some of the other ingredients have salt. Next, I'm going to add in some sour cream. And I haven't tried it, but I'm sure you could substitute the sour cream for non-fat Greek yogurt or Greek yogurt if you prefer to do that. I'm going to give that a mix, and then we're going to add in a can of the broccoli cheese condensed soup. If you don't have this on hand, no worries. You can use whatever cream of blank soup you do prefer. Now I'm going to add in my chicken. These are just some chicken tenders I had in my fridge that I needed to use up. I seasoned them with the Kinder's blend seasoning, just salt, pepper, garlic powder. Cooked them in the air fryer at 360 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes until they were cooked all the way through. I just did that in the air fryer while my rice was cooking on top of the stove. I let the chicken sit for a minute and then diced it up. So I'm going to stir that chicken in, and now I'm going to place this into a greased casserole dish. I used a 9x9 and it was like right up to the top. You could really do this in like a 9x11. I'm going to spread that out, and now it's time for the best part. We're going to add a little bit of shredded cheese. Just use whatever kind you got or what you prefer. And then the buttery Ritz cracker topping. So good. Just crush up some Ritz crackers and then add them to some melted butter, and then give that a stir. We're going to sprinkle that over the casserole. This is going to go into a preheated oven. It's 350 degrees. Everything's already cooked. You're really just letting everything come together. Melt the cheese and toast up those crackers. I'd say about maybe 20 to 25 minutes until the Ritz are golden brown. I had some Brussels sprouts I needed to use up, so I decided to make some bacon balsamic Brussels sprouts. I've shared this many times before on my channel. It is a quick and easy side dish to put together, and we really like it, and it's simple, just a few ingredients. I've got some half Brussels sprouts on this sheet pan. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I'm going to give that a toss with my hands and then pop this into the oven. Now, usually I cook this at a little bit higher heat, like 400 or 425 for, lesser time. But because the casserole was in the oven at 350, I just baked these for 350 rather, for about 20 minutes until they started to get a little bit brown. And at this point, I had some already cooked bacon in my fridge, and so I just chopped that up, added that to the Brussels sprouts, and cooked them for another maybe 5 minutes or so to crisp up that bacon. And then once they came out of the oven, I just tossed them with a little bit of balsamic vinegar, and then that's it. These are really delicious. Here are the plates. So we've got some of the cheesy broccoli, chicken, and rice casserole, and then the balsamic bacon Brussels sprouts. Delicious dinner. And that casserole, that's a great way to use up leftover chicken or rotisserie chicken. Or if you've got some turkey left over from the holidays, I think that would be delicious too. For dinner the next night, we decided to do a snacky dinner, just make different appetizers with some stuff that I had on hand in the pantry and fridge, and watch Christmas movies. So here's what I put together. First up, I'm going to do some stuffed mushrooms. I believe I've shared the recipe that I normally follow before on my channel. If not, I'll link it down in the description box below for you. I didn't follow it exactly because, again, I was using what I had on hand. So first up, I have this chive and onion cream cheese, just a little bit of it. I needed to use it up, so I allowed it to soften. I just gave it a quick stir just to kind of soften it, just get it a little creamy. I'm going to add in a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese and some cooked and crumbled bacon. I'm going to give that a stir, set that to the side. Now, I've got some whole mushrooms. What I like to do is I like to take a paper towel that's just barely dampened and wipe the mushrooms off. As you can see, even these commercially cultivated mushrooms still have some dirt on them. So make sure that you wash them, and then I'm going to remove the stems and set them to the side. Once I've got all of my mushrooms prepped, I'm just going to take a little dollop of the cream cheese mixture, place it into each mushroom. This is going to go into a preheated oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. Next up, I've been wanting to make some bacon-wrapped water chestnuts this holiday season, and I figured now was the time. So we're going to start out by making the sauce for it. I'm adding some Miracle Whip and brown sugar to a bowl. Then I'm going to add in some chili sauce and give that a really good mix. Now, let me warn you, if you've never had this before, the ingredients do sound a little bit weird, but these are delicious. I think this came to popularity maybe in the 70s, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you know. But yeah, like I said, it might sound weird, but it is so good. So I'm going to set that sauce to the side. Now we need some whole water chestnuts, and I halved the recipe, by the way. You'll also need some toothpicks, and then you'll need some bacon that has been cooked just until it's flexible. You don't want to overcook this, just cook it until it's flexible. We're going to take a half a piece of bacon, wrap it around each water chestnut, secure it with a toothpick. I've got it in a greased baking dish. I'm going to take that chili sauce, brown sugar, Miracle Whip mixture, pour it over, and then this is going to bake again at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes or so. Here's what they look like when they were done, and like I said, these are just so good. The bacon, of course, you can't go wrong with bacon, right? And then the brown sugar and the chili sauce gets really caramelized on them, and then the water chestnuts, they're like almost soft, but the very center of them stays a little bit crunchy. Just if you've never tried this recipe, give this a try. When I decided to do a snacky dinner, I asked Gary if there was anything in particular he wanted, and he asked for pizza dip. I actually had everything except for one thing, but we made it work. I had everything on hand, and so I made it. I have shared this before on my channel. I will have all the recipes typed out below for you. So in this bowl, I've got some softened cream cheese. I'm going to add in some sour cream, as well as some grated Parmesan cheese. Give that a stir. This next ingredient is totally optional. I have this Parmesan pizza dust seasoning on hand, and last time I made pizza dip, I added it, added such great flavor, so I'm going to use it. Totally don't have to add anything, except I would suggest adding a little garlic powder. Give that a really good mix. We're going to place that into a greased baking dish. And a quick note, I think I halved this recipe as well. I'm going to spread that out, and now we're going to add some pizza sauce. Use your favorite. This is just what I had on hand, and I like to add more pizza sauce than what the recipe calls for. Just use whatever you like. Now I'm going to add some cheese. I had a little bit of shredded mozzarella and a little bit of Monterey Jack, so that's what I'm going to use. And then normally I put pepperoni on this. I didn't have any, but I chopped up some salami, and really in the finished product, you couldn't tell. It tasted and looked like pepperoni. So this is going to go into the oven, again, 350 for about 20 minutes, and then you do want to let this sit for about 5 or 10 minutes before you serve it up. Next, I'm making a goat cheese and fig dip. As usual, recipe will be down below. In a bowl, I'm adding in some softened goat cheese. Next, I'm going to add in some softened cream cheese. I had the whipped cream cheese on hand, so I'm just using what I got. I'm going to give that a good mix and then pour that into a little greased baking dish. We're going to spread that out, and then add on our fig preserves or fig jam. I think this would be really good with like an apricot jam as well. That would be really yummy. Or maybe like an orange marmalade and be festive. So I'm going to spread that out, and then we're going to take a little drizzle of balsamic vinegar, pour that over, and then we're going to pop this into the oven and bake it again at 350 for about 10 to 12 minutes or so. Once it's out, I'm going to top it with some chopped pecans, some fresh chopped rosemary, and yeah, this is what the dip looked like when it was all done. Last but not least, I made some little caprese bites. I had some garlic bagel chips, some Roma tomatoes, and then I'd bought a package of sliced mozzarella cheese. I don't even remember where, a couple weeks or so ago at the grocery store. It was on sale. Needed to use it up. So I just did that, and then a little drizzle of olive oil along with some balsamic vinegar and a little fresh basil, and this is what we had. Now, we had tons, obviously, of leftovers, so like I had it for dinner the next day, we had it for lunch for a couple days for snack, for different snacks, but everything was so delicious, so yummy. So if you're looking for any last minute appetizers for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day parties, or looking ahead to New Year's Eve, I would give any of these a try. They were all delicious. For dinner the next night, we just did a yo-yo night. Yo-yo stands for you're on your own. Some people call it fend for yourself or figure it out. It's basically what it just sounds. Everybody's on their own for dinner. I wasn't super hungry. I just warmed up some of the leftover dips from the night before. I did some pizza dip and some of the goat cheese dip. Now, for Gary, he doesn't do social media, TikTok, Instagram, any of that, but he does watch YouTube shorts, and I guess he's seen like some viral trend about Bacchian breakfast, and he's been wanting to try it. He mentioned it to me the other day, and I just did a tiny little bit of research on it, just, enough to know what it was, because he said he wanted to do it. So set a bunch of stuff out, and then he made his own plate. He's got a little mini bowl of, I can't remember, I think this is Italian bread, some vegetables, hard-boiled eggs. On the hard-boiled eggs, we sprinkled some everything but the bagel seasoning, and then he added a little white balsamic vinegar. We've got some olives, some tomato, basil, feta cheese, gherkins, pickled beets, pickled okra, and then for this dip, this is the Boar's Head Greek yogurt ranch dip, and then we did end up adding some of the Trader Joe's eggplant and red pepper dip. And so yeah, that was our dinner that night. For dinner this next night, we did a sheet pan cranberry chicken and potatoes with a salad. I shared how I made this in a previous video. It was my Christmas dinner for two. I will link that video down in the description box below for you. If you haven't already seen it, check it out. Both of these recipes were delicious. For dinner the next night, I had a freezer meal of my creamy Italian chicken, so I just cooked that up. I've shared this so many times before on my channel. I like the creamy Italian chicken over rice. Gary prefers it over pasta, so I just cooked up a package of the Brilla, microwavable 90-second pasta, and that's what we have for dinner. I will share my recipe video for this in the description box below for you. For dinner the next night, I did a chicken bacon ranch pizza. You can use whatever pizza dough recipe you'd like to use. You can buy store-bought. I use these stuff from the pop-up can. It's just the Great Value brand. I'm going to cook it according to the package instructions. Use your instructions for your dough. I did par cook the crust. So I sprayed my baking sheet with some cooking spray. I'm going to roll out the pizza crust onto the cookie sheet. And then for the chicken, you could use leftover chicken, rotisserie chicken. I just had a chicken breast. I seasoned it up with some of the Kinder's Blend seasoning. I cooked it in the air fryer at 360 until the chicken was cooked all the way through. I just did that while the oven was preheating and while I was rolling out the pizza crust. Now, this is a chicken bacon ranch pizza, so we're going to use ranch as the sauce. Use your favorite homemade or store-bought. I had a couple odds and ends of ranch bottles in the fridge. I had a little bit of this Hidden Valley. I had a little bit of the Bolt House. I'm just using what I've got on hand. So I'm going to spread that out. Next, I'm going to add some shredded mozzarella cheese. Now, this recipe, I got it years and years ago from allrecipes.com. I don't refer to the recipe anymore because it's just a few ingredients and I don't need to refer to it. At this point, I've made it so many times, but I will try my best to find the original recipe and link it in the description box below for you. So we're going to add on some diced tomatoes, chopped green onions, some chopped cooked bacon, that chicken that I cooked up earlier, and then I'm going to add on some shredded cheddar cheese, a little bit more of that mozzarella, and then this is going to go back into the oven and finish baking again according to the pizza dough instructions that I used. This is what it looked like when it was done. I do like to let it rest for about 5 minutes before I slice it up. And then I just made some side salads, just raided the fridge, used the vegetables and stuff that we had on hand. Here are the plates. We've got a couple slices of the pizza, the salad. I used the rest of the Bolthouse Ranch dressing that we had on hand. Gary used the Ken's Thousand Island, and this pizza was so good, and the salads were really good too. All right, that is it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. I do want to take just a quick second and say that for those of you that celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. And I think Hanukkah starts Christmas Day, and then I believe Kwanzaa is the day after. So if you celebrate any of those holidays, I hope that you have a very happy, safe, and healthy holiday celebration. Again, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel. If you're not already, I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.